Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Bear with me today. My computer that got me through college decided to give up, so it's just going to take me a little bit longer to write out my essays and edit them and all that good stuff. So, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Mesopotamia and the development of mathematics and science through the Islamic kingdoms. I also have included a reference, and it kind of goes off on a tangent because of what one creator said that inspired my own personal development of this topic. So first things first, what is Mesopotamia? Mesopotamia was historically important for a few reasons, though it was not a specified spot, rather a general area covering two rivers. Mesopotamia itself is a Greek word meaning land between the rivers. The area gave birth to Sumer, which led to the Akkadians, etc. Sumer developed the first cities, written language, advancements in math, timekeeping, agriculture, and governance. The Akkadians created one of the first empires, unifying Mesopotamia under a centralized government with innovations in administration, bureaucracy, and governors. Now, its location is Iraq, parts of Iran, Syria, Kuwait, and Turkey. Forgive me if I said that wrong. I'll put the word here of how it's spelled. I looked up how to pronounce it. I probably still messed it up. Mesopotamia is often referred to as the cradle of civilization for its contributions to human development. Mesopotamia is also important for its availability of raw material, especially clay, in which they had developed a surplus which allowed specialized labor, meaning art is abundant. They developed written language, science, and mathematics. In fact, the Middle East played a key role in our development in math and science as a society. But how did the Middle East impact the development of math and science? They preserved and translated Greek works. They invented algebra. I have the source combined in my writing on Patreon, which I will link because YouTube sometimes takes down links to the sources that I used. But the word algebra, I believe it comes from algebra or something like along those lines. My teachers really sucked, but algebra and geometry were my favorite maths, plural. They also developed trigonometry, and they emphasized experimentation and they spearheaded advancements in astronomy. Our numbers are Arab numerals, which were an adaptation on the Hindu invention. That adaptation made the systems of science simpler and more flexible. The writings of Leonardo da Vinci, Leonardo Fibonacci, and Master Jacob of Florence show the Arab influence on mathematical studies in Europe. The Middle East helped by determining the length of a degree, latitude and longitude, and Al-Biruni, forgive me if I said that wrong, discussed the possibility of Earth's rotation on its own axis 600 years before Galileo proved it true. I also didn't write down my resources, so I'll go back and let you guys know where each source kind of aligns with. The book recommendation that I have is Badass Librarians of Timbuktu, and I think it's in their rush to save the world's most important manuscripts or something. The pyramids were faked. Just because you can't fathom building it yourself doesn't mean that a large group of organized laborers could not build it. I've never heard someone say that the Great Pyramid of Cholula, there's a different name for it, but I don't know how to pronounce it, and I also forgot to write it down, because switching between the writing it on my phone and writing it on paper is just... which was built by the Olmec, Toltec, and Aztec. And I never heard somebody say that was built by aliens. If the biggest pyramid by volume, Giza still holds the tallest pyramid record, could be built by large groups across generations, then why do we consider the Egyptians unskilled as to not be capable of deserving credit? I think, as always, it stems from racism. But let's dissect that. Christianity and Catholicism and Judaism are treated as more valid. People still hold this belief in them that proximity to whiteness equals power, because in many aspects of life it is. There is privilege and safety in being perceived as belonging to the group. Keeping in mind that all Abrahamic religions got some similar weirdness surrounding them, there are large groups of people across generations. There's going to be some questionable moments, even if the majority are held to good standards. Spaniards were considered white, and they spread Catholicism. Even though they are now not considered white, there's likely some part in that which contributes to this validity in works from South America. We still see brown-skinned folks face specific hardships in America. Just trying to follow a train of thought really quick. Even though, fill in the blank, examples, Abrahamic religions, any race comparison, men and women, etc., teaching pattern recognition across all places. Even though they're more alike than different, somehow when one group of people does something, it is impossible and needs proving. I'm gonna say this like I'm typing it out, and then I'm gonna just say it how it is. At CATHAAGR8, Kate the Great, on Instagram posted a video saying anyone who says Islam is not compatible with Western society, they're just racist, that's all it is. Even further, they may use Judeo-Christian values, which purposely excludes Islam, even though it is also an Abrahamic religion. She went on to say, "You've got all kind of smoke for a religion that you don't know shit about." Even funnier is that they share some weird values or stories, but these books cannot so much be considered stories, instead they're solely doctrines, which is interesting because a lot of the stuff in the Bible is just like a really interesting story. The same ones people speak poorly of from Islam tend to be eerily similar to another story in Judaism or Christianity. Any religion can be used as an excuse for pedophilia. This creator uses the comparison of the daughters of Lot with the argument of Aisha, the wife of the Prophet Muhammad. For reference, the daughters of Lot got him drunk and got themselves pregnant with his kids, non-consensually. Long-winded, but I'm trying to figure out how to phrase things so that it doesn't get taken down, and this genuinely gives you the best explanation. Aisha, the third wife of the Prophet Muhammad, may have been as young as 9 years old when they married, and this story is strongly debated between scholars in Islam. Truthfully, society dismisses a lot of the development that specific countries have made because of that deep-rooted racism. I think whenever a white man does something, even bare minimum, he often gets a standing ovation, but when minorities strive for excellence, their work is torn down. The success is blamed on DEI or aliens because people refuse to believe that excellence can spring from anywhere. Forgive me, the lighting of my video is going to be weird now. And more than anything, the thriving mediocrity within white culture is used as an excuse to tear down anyone smart. Anti-intellectualism, anyone other, because not doing that means recognizing and accepting that because they were put on a pedestal, they have not developed personalities. I find it comparable to when you can tell someone grew up pretty and became sheltered because of it. They become lacking in some form of connection and humanity. Oftentimes addressing that means grappling with the deepest fears of inadequacy. Granted, I dislike that comparison because I do not consider the violence perpetrated from the mediocre white man comparable to the intolerable conversation with someone who is starving of anything but mainly of enjoyment, fulfillment, and connection. Rather, it serves to bridge the gap in understanding through development of pattern recognition between all behaviors and all humans, as once again I state we are more alike than different. The resources I used in researching this will be linked to the Patreon post in the description. Forgive me if the quality of this video is not as good as it could be. Of course, my lighting had to die right when I was almost done. That's just kind of the month I've been having. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully next week we'll be a little bit together because I'll get myself together during these next couple days, but I don't know when I will be able to get a new computer, so forgive me if my work takes a little bit longer to come out. I am really stuck to this goal in my head of writing one essay every single week, and I've been doing pretty good, but having to type it on my phone takes me back to early college days before I finally got my computer. So, gotta relearn that skill for now. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!